Hello students, in this video I am going to talk about transamination, deamination and decarbosylation. We all know that proteins are very large compounds to be digested in our body as it is. Hence they are broken down with the help of various enzymes and processes into amino acids which can be easily absorbed. So in the course of metabolism, these amino acids they undergo different processes of biotransformation, and these are transamination, deamination and decarbosylation. Transamination, as the name suggests, it is the transfer of amino group from the amino acid to a keto acid. When an amino group is transferred or is removed from an amino acid, the remaining structure is called as the keto acid. In this case, there is a simple shuffling of amino group from the amino acid to a keto acid, and another new pair of amino acid and keto acid is formed. The enzyme that catalyzes this reaction is called transaminases, and recently it has been named as aminotransferases. And the coenzyme which helps in this is the pyridoxal phosphate, which is derived from vitamin B6. Now let us look into some of the salient features of transamination. As already said, all the transaminase requires pyridoxal phosphate as the coenzyme which is derived from vitamin B6. There are specific transaminase enzymes for each pair of amino acid and keto acid. However, only two such enzymes, aspartate transaminase and alanine transaminase, are important. In transamination, there is no free amino group that is liberated. There is only the transfer of amino group that takes place, and the transamination reaction is a reversible reaction. It is a very important reaction for redistribution of amino group and production of non-essential amino acid. So what are non-essential amino acids? We know that these amino acids are synthesized in our body, and transamination is involved both in anabolism and catabolism. Now let us see about the deamination process. In deamination, there is removal of the amino group in the form of ammonia from the amino acid. Earlier in transamination, we have seen that there is only the transfer of amino group in between the amino acid and the keto acid. But in deamination, there is removal of the amino group in the form of ammonia, and the ammonia that is liberated from deamination, during deamination, it is converted or it is used in urea synthesis. And the carbon skeleton of amino acid, that means when amino group is liberated from the amino acid structure, the remaining carbon skeleton is converted to keto acid. And this deamination, it can be either oxidative or non-oxidative deamination depending upon the oxidation reaction taking place. The ammonia that is liberated during deamination is toxic to the body and it cannot be excreted properly by the body. So this ammonia, it is converted to urea, and this urea, it is less toxic than that of ammonia and it gets excreted from the body easily. And this conversion of ammonia to urea, it takes place with the help of the urea cycle, and this urea is excreted from the body through the urine. Next, the carbon skeleton is the keto acid remaining after the removal of amino group from the amino acid, and this carbon skeleton, it is used to form either glucose or fats, or they are converted to metabolic intermediates that can be oxidized in the citric acid cycle for the release of energy. Let's move on to the next important process, that is decarbosylation. As the name suggests, decarbosylation, it means the removal of the carboxyl group from the amino acid in the form of carbon dioxide. So after decarbosylation, the amino acid, it gets converted to amines, and the enzyme that is involved in decarbosylation are called as decarbosylase, and the coenzyme that helps in this process is pyridoxal phosphate. Now let us look at a simple reaction of decarbosylation. So here you can see the carboxyl group of the amino acid, it is liberated in the form of carbon dioxide to form a amine, and this amine is called as the biogenic amine. The enzyme that has helped here in this reaction is the decarbosylase, and the coenzyme pyridoxal phosphate has also played its part in the conversion of the amino acid to biogenic amine in the process of decarboxylation. So that's all in this topic. Hope you have understood the processes of transamination, deamination and decarboxylation. Thank you.